Hey everyone, I'm Ryan, you're watching 60 Cycle Hum, and in this video, I'm just gonna have some fun shooting out, exploring, showing off every single dirt pedal that I'm aware of that Chase Bliss Pedals has ever made. I'm talking the Bliss Factory, the Preamp MKII, the Brothers, and the Condor down here. The Bliss Factory is the newest to the world and to me. Very graciously, a member of the community here sold me the Bliss Factory at cost. He didn't flip it to me. He sold it to me at what he paid, and just huge thanks. Huge thanks to you. You know your name. I don't want to, out you and dox you or something right now. If you want to take credit, do it in the comments. But anyways, this thing's a ton of fun. It takes the kind of EQ shaping that you get from the MKII and the Condor and allows you to apply it to the ZVEX Fuzz Factory. There's, a ridiculous amount of other stuff that you can do, but that's the central thing that I keep going back to and having all my fun with, and that's what I want to explore today and show off. I'm not going to show off everything about this. There are plenty of other demos out there showing everything. This is me having my own fun. By the way, this is an unhired demo. This is me just having fun on my own. This isn't an official Chase Bliss jam or anything like that. There's no money involved. I bought this. This is for me. So anyways, let's get into it. Here is my dry signal Gibson SG faded that was refinished by the guy before me, and I've changed the guts out 3 or 4 times by now, so it is in no way a stock guitar. I've got it tuned to drop D for fun. You're hearing it through my 2 Princeton's rig. The little MIDI guy play out. And here is the Bliss Factory. Still going. Oh, I just adore that. I love the journey the fuzz goes on as the string decays, and it just is jumping through all these little glitchy, fuzzy things that it does, resulting in it just like gating and blurping out at the end. The Fuzz Factory is legendary. It's a legendary nonsense fuzz. You can dial in sounds that you would never use, but are fun, like sound effect, like moments to incorporate in your song or whatever. And you can dial it in to be a fairly normal fuzz too. This has all the normal Fuzz Factory controls: volume, drive, stab, gate, and of course comp over here. And turning them in a multitude of different combinations causes ridiculous, bonkers things to happen. There's a more normal sort of fuzz sound. We'll start from there, and I'll show off the thing that I have the most fun with. I've applied the LPF range to the expression pedal. You can see that the aux function switch here is set to LPF, or maybe you can't see it. It's pretty small up there on the screen. And then I've got the kind of filter shape to the most extreme setting here. Without any of that fancy stuff on, you can always select this aux function with this side button here. But in this setting, I have it connected to an expression pedal that I have on the floor. I'll show off the full range of that LPF knob. You turn it all the way down, and it pretty much disappears your signal. It's gone so low that you can't hear it anymore. So the way I have the expression pedal set up is that this represents the heel position, and then the toe position is all the way turned up. Let's check out some of the other kind of filter range settings here. This is the middle position. Still pretty wall-like, not as extreme as that far right position. And then over here you have the most subtle position, which closely resembles just a normal tone control. You also have a bit of a tone control here with the fatter, fat, and normal switch. I've been on the fatter because why not, right? Here is the normal. Here's the fat setting. And the fatter. Enough of the expression control now. Let's check out a few of the other fun things it can do. Instead of expression control, you can do bounce, which is like an auto ramping that you can apply to anything. I'm going to leave it on the LPF because I think that's the most fun. By the way, in bounce mode or ramping mode, the gate knob here turns into the speed control for the bounce or the ramp. All right, now I've got it set up to do a momentary ramp of the LPF. You can see that this is off and it goes on momentarily. You can set it up to turn off momentarily. If you want it to be always on and turn off momentarily, there's that option. Of course, I mean, with the library of dip switches that they put on the back of these things, the sky is the limit. There are literally billions of combinations with pretty much all Chase Bliss pedals. That's too much fun. I could spend a 5-hour video exploring any Chase Bliss pedal, just going through all the nitty gritty. I feel like that's a pretty good taste test of the Bliss Factory. You can assign that ramping, that bouncing, the expression control to any of these parameters. Turn it into a tremolo if you want, just by ramping the volume up and down, or control all of them at the same time with the expression control or ramp or bounce. The sky's the limit. One of the huge things that the Bliss Factory brings to the table that the Fuzz Factory has needed forever is presets. There's 2 preset slots down here. You dial in just that perfect, like, roboting, screaming, squelching sound that you had to sit there with, like, tweezers and turn the knob ever so slightly to get it just right, and now you can finally save it to a preset. That's something that the Fuzz Factory has needed sorely for a long time. Let's move on to the Preamp MKII. This thing is just a beast, a total beast of a pedal. It's a fuzz, it's a preamp, it's an overdrive, it's a boost, it's an EQ, it's a wah. It can be so many different things. It has preset slots just like this one does and the others do, but it's got this preset thing where the sliders move on their own. It's too much fun. Let's go back to 0. This is kind of a light, sort of smooth, like creamy, saturated kind of preamp overdrive sort of sound. You can change the diodes. Right now there's no clipping diode. You throw on a silicone. Germanium. Did I say the flower or did I say the element? Subtle differences there in that light kind of overdrive sort of sound, but then you throw on the fuzz. There's no fuzz on right now. Now it is an open fuzz. The next setting is gated. Let's go for that gated. Of course, a huge feature of this is the EQ control, especially the mid-frequency control. I've got it on the most tight extreme setting here. You can even change the position of that mids control with this. Right now it's in post. And put it in off so there's no mids control. Put it in pre so the mids are before the distortion. And then put it in post for the most dramatic sort of effect. It does fuzz so wonderfully. It's such a fun fuzz pedal, but of course it does, you know, all the lighter gain, preampy sorts of stuff. And you can control any combination of these sliders with an expression pedal if you want to. Go back and watch my official demo of this to see me explore all of that. Now on to the Brothers. I don't think I filmed the Brothers, except for maybe including it in a demo here or there. I think it's a really fun pedal. It's more of a dirt sound building sort of pedal. You've got two sides that you can put a boost, a drive, or a fuzz on. So boost, drive, or fuzz on this side, boost, drive, or fuzz on this side. Each side has a different voicing, a different kind of component variance going on, and you can stack them back and forth, one in front of the other, or run them in parallel and mix them in parallel with, you know, more mix on one side than the other. The sky's the limit with this thing. You can certainly, with all these pedals, you can certainly get yourself in trouble making sounds that are conventionally not very usable and sounds that are conventionally very, very usable. It's really up to you what kind of sound you want to build with the Brothers, because it is, like I said, it is a drive building box. You have something in your head, you might be able to build it with this pedal. A crazy fuzz, a creamy overdrive, a crispy, like brutalist, primordial sort of torn speaker drive. Yeah, that's where I like to live. So let's start exploring it a little bit. We're going to scratch the surface just like we did with the other two. Let's put them on, let's start off on the drive setting. We're doing A into B on the middle position here. You have a gain and a tone control on each side, and then you have the master volume and the mix or the stack control here. Let's compare that to the B drive. Stack them. Let's run them in parallel. So right now the mix control has them at 50-50. To do is go really bright on one side and pretty dark on the other, and then use the mix control almost like an interesting like tone mixing control. Sounds pretty great. Let's reverse it. Bright on that side, dark on the other. See what happens. Of course, like all these pedals, you can assign expression control. So I could assign this mix knob to an expression control and ramp back and forth between different sorts of drive sounds. All right, now I want to show off slamming the boosts into each other. The way it works when you're not in parallel, when you're into the A into B or B into A, is that the mix control becomes an attack control, which means it's a second volume. Essentially, it's the volume level in between the two sides, and then you have a master volume after all of it. So you can just completely slam one boost into the other and get this just primordial, primitive, nasty torn speaker fuzz sort of thing going on. So right now we're going A side into B side. That's that just ridiculous torn speaker, high, peaky, loose grit sort of drive that I'm always chasing. And I'm doing this by stacking boosts into each other. I'm just slamming a boost with another boost. love that. It's so primitive. All right, now on to the fuzzes. We'll do one at a time just to show off what they sound like. Let's do parallel mixing on those. Obviously, like all the others, I could spend all day. I could spend hours and hours exploring the brothers and finding all kinds of wonderful and terrible sounds to inflict upon the world. Onto the Condor. I don't feel like the Condor gets enough love in this crazy world that we live in. It's an EQ, it's a preamp, it's a filter, it's a tremolo if you want, it's a wah. It's kind of like a proto preamp Mark II. But with more kind of like EQ controls based around this parametric kind of EQ sort of concept. But it is also a dirt box. It has a gain control, and you turn it on with that button there. This kind of like fizzy, almost tube screamer sort of thing going on with that gain all the way up. And of course, a ridiculous amount of EQ shaping with this. Same as the Bliss Factory, if I attached an expression pedal to this, I could turn it into a wah right now, for sure. Or assign that frequency knob to the bounce or the ramp or whatever. Of course, flick it over here for a more normal sound. I've promised a more normal sound. I've got to find it now. Let's get crazy and turn everything on. That's all nonsense. Well, that's what four fuzzes sound like at the same time. So anyways, what do you guys think? Which one won? Which one of these dirty, dirty boys from Chase Bliss Audio wins, in your opinion? I love them all. I really sincerely do. It's amazing that a company like Chase Bliss can, one, exist with these ridiculously tweakable, over-the-top sorts of concepts here, at prices that are very uncommon. They're high-priced pedals, that's for sure. These are not kind of buy on the whim sort of pedals, and unfortunately, there's become a problem with people, trying to buy them all up and flip them for even higher. Hopefully, Chase Bliss continues making new runs at the Bliss Factory so that people don't have to pay ridiculous amounts to get them, because I think this is a ton of fun. The MKII starts out expensive. It has so much variety, though. It brings so much to the table. I honestly look at this and I think this should be the sort of thing that people who run recording studios buy. You leave it on the desk. It's beautiful. You impress your clients with it. You're scrolling through presets. You're doing all kinds of MIDI controlling with it. It's a really wonderful product. The Brothers, if you've ever wanted to just build your own drive sound, it's there. You can combine fuzzes and boosts and distortions and overdrives and take like a tube screamer concept and shift it and mold it into a fuzz or a boost or some sort of gritty thing in between that no one's ever heard before. It's a creator's drive pedal. This is for people who are creative, who want to create their own sound. And then the Condor. Just a ridiculous kind of like utility pedal. EQ shifting, preamp gain, wah sounds, modulated sounds, boosts. It's wonderful. I would have a tough time picking right now. I'd have a really tough time picking a favorite. Picking one that I would be like, oh, that's the Chase Bliss dirt I'm going to keep. I think probably the Preamp Mark II is probably the most versatile and conventionally usable. So that might be the answer. But man, that Bliss Factory is too much fun. It's just too much fun. The out-of-control fuzz sounds that you get from a Fuzz Factory, and then you throw in the Chase Bliss like suite of controls and tweakability. Yeah, I think I'd be between these two. These are wonderful, but I think these are extra special good. So I'm looking forward to reading all the comments. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, dislike, leave me rude, nasty comments. Support us on Patreon. Buy a shirt if you're naked, or if you're not naked. If you want to double up, that's fine too. And stay grounded. Bye, everybody.